Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man? We back, man. I was gonna go to the gym today. I was banking on that shit. And it's right up the street from the crib, man. It's right up the street from the crib. But normally we start between 7 and 7:30. These motherfuckers done switched the time a whole hour early to 6:30. And I got a couple more errands to run. So I ain't even gonna be able to get no full workout in, man. I'm mad as shit about that. But like I told him, like, man, y'all gonna see me tomorrow for sure. 6:30, I ain't gonna be able to make it. 7, we could have made something work, but you know, I ain't gonna be back at the crib until 7 and change. So I'm not gonna be able to get the full workout that I would normally get going to the gym. But peep game, that's neither here nor there, man. I want to talk about Frank Martin versus Nair Albright. Man, listen, bro. Who the fuck? Oh, that's a little kid. Frank Martin is one of the black fighters, because a lot of people feel like, you know, just because I'm a fan of Canelo, I'm a big fan of Canelo, and you know, I fucks with the Brits, you know, just there's other Mexican fighters that I fuck with. People, you know, it's mainly when it came to Bud and Canelo, because how, you know, I didn't think that Bud was gonna beat Canelo. Everybody just ran with this notion that I don't like black fighters, and to keep shit on a stack, the black fighters that are propped and praised over here, I just don't fuck with. I'm never gonna be a fan of Devin Haney. I'm never gonna be a fan of Tank. Shakur, I fuck with Shakur. I fuck with Keyshawn Davis. But the fight, a lot of the, you know, Tank and Devin Haney, I'm cool on. Deontay Wilder, I was cool on. I'm cool on them niggas. I'm like, nah, bro, y'all just, nah, man, I can't get jiggy with y'all. Y'all a little too goofy for me. Why am I coming this way? So they'll take that and run with it, and you know, say I don't like black fighters, man. But you know, it's plenty. Of course, I like black fighters. What the fuck is y'all talking about? But Frank Martin is a black fighter who is a fighter in general that a lot of people just don't seem to really fuck with like that. They have a very low opinion of him because of what happened with him and Tank. And I think that's real unfair. You know, he went in there, he did the, you know, the best he could in front of a dude who has championship experience. I don't think the world of Tank, honestly. I honestly don't. I don't think the world of Tank. I think Tank is highly overrated. Good fighter, but I think he's highly overrated. I think he is you know, I just think he's amped. I think he's gassed up. You dig? And people are so, you know, they've been beating the drum for the PBC for so long, and because he's attached to Floyd Mayweather, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I just don't see it like that when it comes to this dude. I see a good fighter. I do not see a great fighter though. And his resume has proven me right thus far. So, but nonetheless, he at least had championship experience, man. Frank Martin he had never been in the ring with a champion up until that time. So I feel like you know, he did the best he could do. But nonetheless, I fuck with Frank Martin. That fight with him and Nair Albright, a lot of people were trying to, you know, they're castigating him for for looking the way that he looked with Nair Albright, as if Keyshawn Davis didn't have a majority decision with Nair Albright. People quickly forget that, man. This is a crafty dude who knows how to, if not win the fight, make it competitive to where you can say, yo, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the ring with so-and-so. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the ring with so-and-so. Because he's a crafty fighter, man. For someone who doesn't have big punching power like that, for someone who's not known as a puncher, he protects himself well in the pocket. He protects himself very well in the clinch, man. And that, you know, that's foreign to a lot of fighters who God damn it, that's foreign to a lot of fighters. Nah, we're not going to the left. That's foreign to a lot of fighters who don't, who are you can consider feather-fisted punchers. They're not punching like that. They're not punching with, you know, a certain level of authority. He's one of those dudes. He doesn't punch like that. And because he doesn't punch like that, you would think he would be the contrary to someone who plants his feet and knows how to, you know, in his, oh shit, I can't go this way. You would think he'd be the contrary to somebody who can plant their feet and protect themselves in the pocket, and developing those instincts to where, you know, they can protect themselves. And he did that very well, man. And he even hurt Frank Martin, man. I think it was a really nip and tuck fight. I think I made a status on Facebook saying, yo, man, Frank Martin, I think about the third or the fourth round, because it was just a lot of back and forth action. Frank Martin, I was like, yo, I want to say around about the second or third, maybe the third or fourth round, I'm like, Frank Martin's speed is really starting to play it. I said something like he's starting to, you know what I'm saying, separate himself with his speed. His speed is getting to him. because he has the faster feet and the faster hands. But he'd adjust to it. I heard was it Sergio Mora? He made a really good point, and I was like, yo, man, that shit makes sense. Frank Martin was cutting the angles, but he wasn't getting, because of the southpaw conventional fighting stance, he wasn't getting his lead foot to the outside of Nair Albright's lead foot. So he was still in the line of fire to get clipped. And he was getting clipped a whole hell of a lot. And that was happening up until he realized, yo, I gotta cut a deeper angle so I can be out of the line of fire when I get my shot off. And he started doing that. And he started finding success again, man. And then he got clipped in the 12th round, man. It was a back and forth fight. It was a really good fight. I really enjoyed that shit, and I think the right decision was made. I want to see both of them again. Like I said, 140 is so deep. Nair Albright being in there. We had Andy Hirioka and fucking Gary Antoine Russell. They was the fight right after that. So that's two other fighters in the division. Jermaine Ortiz. I'm still fucking with Jermaine Ortiz. Sandor Martin, Oscar Duarte, Richardson Hitchens, Teofimo Lopez is still there. I think Shakur Stevenson is about to move down. I hope Keyshawn Davis stays at 140 and makes his stamp right there. Who else is there, man? Oh man, a lot of these names are eluding me right now. Kenny Sims is still there. You got it's just so many people in that division, man. I don't know. I think Regis is still competing as well. I don't know if Jojo Diaz is still competing. I think he should be, because he should have won his last fight against Regis Prograis. It's just so many fighters in that division. That division is so deep. Why not stay there? Adam Azim, Dalton Smith, Subriel Matias. I just drag amounts of names that I would love to see Nair Albright in there with, and Frank Martin. I would love to see those fights, man. I would love to see him in there with all those dudes, bro. That was a really good performance, man. I was really impressed. And just Frank Martin, since the Ali Rivera fight, I was like, this dude is nice. I don't know what niggas is talking about, bro. He's a factor in the division. Man. He's a total package. He can fight in the pocket. He can fight, using his mobility, fast hands, real good counter punching, real good feet. I'm like, this dude is dope. Why is he not getting the love that he was getting? It was a damn shame that he was begging people to just start tweeting his name, mentioning his name on social media, so the PBC can remember that he's a fighter at the PBC and getting booked for some fights, so he ain't just sitting on the shelf rusting his tools. Man, that dude sat out the ring for like a fucking year and a half. What the fuck is we doing, man? But nonetheless, he's two fights back since the Gervonta Davis knockout. I like Frank Martin as a fighter, dog. I honestly do. The dude is dope. I want to see more Frank Martin. I want to see more Nair Albright. And I think what Nair was dope with him, man, he's not a speedy dude. It's nothing that stands out. Like when you look at Frank, it's the speed. The foot and the hand speed. Nair Albright doesn't have that. He doesn't have those, those attributes in his game. It's just IQ, his range, man. The dude is a lengthy dude. It's IQ. And I dug what he did. A lot of niggas was talking shit about him singing, busting a harmony or whatever after the fight. Franchon Cruz sang the fucking the national anthem before she fought Savannah Marshall. Why is it such a he went in there, he got a draw, and he wanted to sing for the crowd. I thought it was dope, and the vocals was on point. Salute to Nair Albright. I dig that shit. Motherfuckers want to let it be. I'm not a one-trick pony. You know what I'm saying? I have other talents outside of what it is you see for my profession. I dug that shit, so salute to him. But I would love to see these dudes fight more often, because they need to. I was impressed with what I saw from the both of them, man. So y'all remember that the next time y'all want to denigrate Frank Martin for looking the way that he looked, he went in there and he forced the issue with Keyshawn Davis as well, and made Keyshawn Davis work. That way, a lot of people was feeling some type of way after that fight about Keyshawn Davis. At some point, we just got to say, yo, this dude, he's not going to make it easy for nobody. You get fighters who are just like that, man. Before fucking Derevianchenko, before he had that long layoff, he did it with Golovkin and Jacobs. John Ryder did it with fucking Callum Smith and Canelo Alvarez. You know, the list goes on and on and on, man. You know, you're gonna have them fighters that's just gonna say, yo, man, all right, man, you might not be a champion. You may not ever be a champion. You may not have caught a belt, but one thing a motherfucker can say is, your ass gonna make somebody fight. And that's Nair Albright. That's definitely Nair Albright, man. I think Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin had a higher ceiling than he did, definitely, but when you know, just as far as just talent goes and, you know, standout attributes as a fighter, they do. But he still made them labor, man, and that's something y'all have to commend these workmen who come in there and they show the durability and the IQ and put up a certain amount of resistance and good enough technique to where they're forcing you to say, man, this is a draw right here. Man, he won that fight. You gotta salute that, man. You gotta salute that. So salute to Nair Albright, man. Salute to Nair Albright. I enjoyed that fight. So I think yo, Turkey, you need to put both of them back on the Riyadh season card. They both need to be back on the Riyadh season card because they put on a stellar performance, to both of them. They put on a stellar performance. It wasn't a boring fight. I think that's the biggest thing. No fight on that card was boring. All of the fights were they were entertaining. So reward them, you know what I'm saying? Compensate them for, you know, putting on the performance that they did. So I'm looking forward to the next time we see them in the ring. If you can, maybe it'll do them some good to go over there with Zuffa, because I don't think Frank Martin is ever going to fucking headline another card again. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe you should go to Zuffa. Maybe you should go to Pro Box just to stay active, man. That year and a half layoff really was like a damn, bro. Maybe we need to, that's an outlet that y'all can consider. But like I said, 2 fights back since the Gervonta Davis knockout. All right, cool. Just stay on that path. Stay in the good graces of these motherfuckers so you don't have to worry about that again. Because I want to see you fight, personally. I want to see you fight again. That was a damn good performance. That was a damn good performance from the both of y'all. So, yeah, shout out them niggas, man. Shout out them niggas, and welcome to the 140-pound division, Frank Martin, officially. Because I couldn't say it with the Ramesses Bartholomew fight. But I'm saying it now. Welcome to the division, gang. You know, sky's the limit. Let's see if you can. I can see him getting a belt too up there. If we being real, I can see him getting the belt. I think Frank Martin can be a champion, man. But that's just me. I won't put the cart before the horse. But good fight, good win. No, good draw, good fight. Salute to both y'all. Deuces.